Good morning. The pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll call this Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, meeting to order. Chair will make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Chair will make a motion to approve the consent agenda A through M.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? I don't see anything on there that is out of the ordinary, so. Any, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. All right, moving on to public comment. Anyone have a public comment? You have a few minutes to come up. Please state your name and talk about anything you would like to talk about concerning the county. Come on. Good to see you guys this morning.
Good to see you, commissioners. I'm Tracy Winder. I'm a citizen. I heard a rumor that now we're licensing dogs. And my only other question was this portal authority that was just part of the consent agenda. I don't understand what that's about, and I did not have time to look at the packet this morning, so I apologize. But if you have a few minutes, maybe you could answer those. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other further or any other public comment? Going once? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on. First, or actually general discussion. Commissioners, you guys have anything?
No.
Yeah. You have anything? No? All right, so first thing on the agenda this morning is announce community volunteer board seat appointments. So we had a few people apply for them. So we are putting on for the employment or employee retirement board, we have Brad McDermott, and he will complete the term through 12 of 25. There's still one seat open in that board. The library board, we are putting Michelle Gotchel. It's a 5-year term. And there are still 2 seats open on the library board. And so,
See after that. It says two.
oh, it says 2 here. Okay. One seat after that. And so if you know anybody that wants to be on the library board, we would appreciate that. Then also on the planning and zoning commission, there's 1 seat available, but we have put Renee Olson. We have a Rena Olson, county resident, and she will complete a term. It's a 3-year term. She's going to complete that term through 12 of 25 as well. And then there's 1 seat open there, and then there's 2 alternate seats available. But we are going to appoint Ford Richmond as a county resident for a 3-year alternate seat. I don't believe we need a motion because we already appointed these, right? Or do we need a motion? Okay, we need a motion. I think we can make it as whole.
As presented.
As presented, yep.
Chair, I would move to approve the volunteer board seat appointments as read.
All right, a motion and a second on the volunteer board's letters of interest. So all in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion carries. Appreciate everyone that volunteers. That's the true way of making a difference in the county, is these boards that we do. The unsung heroes, if you could say. All right, staff reports coming on. We'll start with Road and Bridge. Couple things, request waiving a bid process for waste tire recycle at landfill. Approve a contract with Overton Recycle for waste tire recycling at landfill, and resolution 2024-14, authorization for director of Moffett County Road and Bridge Department to sign license agreements, employee housing. So,
Good morning.
go ahead, sir.
So every year the landfill is required to dispose of waste tires that we collect over the year. And years past, we used to put it out for bid. And the last two times, I think I'd had to put it out for bid twice before we got anybody to bid it from the eastern slope, and then they'd come in, haul them off. The last 2 years, we've been using Overton Recycling out of Meeker. And they actually bring a dumpster up, 30-yard dumpster. We fill that up. People throw them straight into the dumpster. We don't even have to handle them most of the time. Then they come, they shred all the tires in Meeker, shred them. And we use those shreds for alternate daily cover, saves on dirt at the landfill. So I'm just asking that you waive the bidding process so we can just continue with what we're doing. Contract is for, I believe, $15,000 for the year, which is 60 tons of tires.
So the price hasn't changed from last year.
It went up a little bit,
It did go up.
but there's no fuel surcharge this year, so it's pretty much a wash.
Oh, gotcha. And handle them.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll make a motion to waive the bid process for waste tire recycling.
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Motion carries.
And then as far as the lease agreement, the licensing agreement, I don't have that in front of me, that resolution, but it's just basically, rather than waiting for the next meeting to get you guys to sign it, if we're putting somebody at a remote shop with employee housing, that I'll be able to sign the licensing agreement.
We need to approve the.
Just to go approve this contract
Oh,
first with
Over 10 first. Yeah.
Overton. And that's for 15,000.
I believe so.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Overton Recycling for waste tire recycling for 15,000.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? I hear none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, now on to the resolution 2024, which Dan just alluded to. We're trying to do this across the board. You know, a lot of times that if we have a meeting on Tuesday and we approve a contract or approve something, then we have to have another meeting to actually sign the paperwork, which we already approved it on that meeting. So we're trying to consolidate because we do not want to have special meetings. You know, to the public eye, special meetings look fishy. It look like, why are you having a special meeting on a Thursday? And sometimes you have to because state mandates on certain dates. But so that's one of those things that we're just trying to clean up where you would have the authority to do that. So.
Only thing I'd add to that too is it leases the building to an employee when we have a remote shop or something rather than doing a rental agreement. So if there is a termination of an employee or someone, we have an issue, we have the ability to have that house back quickly for the next employee.
Mhm.
So Mr. Chair, I would move to approve Resolution 2024-14, authorizing the Director of the Moffett County Road and Bridge Department to sign license agreements regarding employee housing.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, senor. Thanks for moving the snow today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Office of Emergency Management, Mr. Wheeler.
Good morning.
Mark?
Oh, I've come this morning to request waiving of the bid process in order to purchase a track system to be used by the Office of Emergency Management for the Sheriff's Office and Search and Rescue. It's a track system that will be used on a vehicle to expedite response in the remote areas during the wintertime for both search and rescue and the sheriff's office for patrol functions if needed. We've had cases of having to respond to the Wilderness Ranch area in the wintertime with limited access. So this was approved on this year's budget, but it exceeds the amount that would be required to go out for bid. There's only one company that manufactures this type of track system that allows quick install without having to permanently modify a vehicle and take it out of service.
So what is the total amount?
Total amount is $30,975. This last year, price was a little cheaper, but of course with inflation.
Yeah. So it is already approved in the budget,
In the budget.
so we
yes.
just need to waive the bid process and that's it.
Correct.
I mean, unfortunately, we hate waiving the bid process because we have that for a purpose, right? But a lot of these things, there's only one company that's doing certain things. Your hands are tied, right? I mean,
Fortunately, this company is out of Canada, makes it a little bit more difficult. But there again, it's the only company that manufactures it.
And we do have the ability to do sole source contracts when we can't find anyone else who's doing it.
Okay.
You want the amount stated in the motion?
you can, yeah, for clarity.
Mr. Chair, I would move to waive the bid process for the search and rescue, Sheriff's Department, Emergency Management, tired vehicle tracks with A&D Boven design for $30,975.
Second.
All right, motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you, Todd. All right, Sheriff's Office. Mr. Chip McIntyre, dog ordinance,
Good morning.
2024-0227, first reading. So there will be public hearing on this next time, I believe, so.
Good morning. Obviously, I'm not the sheriff. He's out of town, so he asked me to come present this to you. This is the first reading of like you said, ordinance 2024-0227. This ordinance would repeal any ordinances, amended ordinances, resolutions, or portions thereof concerning the licensing and controlling of dogs in Moffett County. Lots of words there because in 1978, the county adopted a dog ordinance, and then since then, there's been resolutions and other ordinances. Some of those contradict and they don't coincide, and it makes it really hard to enforce or move forward with anything related to dogs. So this ordinance would essentially get rid of all of those, and then we can start fresh with a new resolution and not an ordinance to move forward with anything regarding dogs in the county.
I think I think sometimes over the years, you just have to do that. There's so many resolutions and each set of commissioners set a different set of resolutions, and we need to get back to.
Yeah, sometimes you can put a new coat of paint on things and work it out, and sometimes you gotta tear it down to the foundation and start over, and
Yeah.
I think that's where we're at with the
So-
dog ordinance and.
So all this is doing is it's voiding all those other ones, and then we're going to start rebuilding a resolution for what we want in place.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
So does the ordinance 227, the repealing the others, does that have to go through public hearing? Or is
Yeah,
it
this
just
is
the
just
licensing that
The
has to
first
go?
reading, this is the first reading, so next meeting on second reading, we'll have a public hearing.
So the one
this is just a-
repealing everything has to also go?
So this won't take,
It's all tied to the other one?
yeah,
Yeah,
this
this
won't
is
take
an
place.
ordinance, so.
Yeah, this won't take place until after we go through public hearing process. This is just to put it on the table.
And our agendas are posted on the website, so you can go in and read that. Are we going to have it posted anywhere else online for them to go in and read between now and the next meeting?
I don't know, does the county attorney post those on,
I know it has to be published in the newspaper.
right?
Okay, the repealing ordinance.
Which I think probably is wise on our part. It's really hard to repeal something if you don't know what's coming next. So we'll probably need to get our attorney before the next meeting, before the public hearing, that we do a first reading of what we are about to establish, right? And I think that's the wisest thing to do that.
Right.
So you're not repealing something and then nobody knows what's coming next, right? That's
Right.
kind of scary. And so we want to make sure that we'll have that first reading of what we are putting into practice while we're going into public hearing of this. I think that's probably the best choice.
Yeah, get it out there where they can read it.
Yeah. What's your pleasure? We have a standoff?
Yeah, she got
Have to do all the talking?
it. Yeah,
You're making me look bad.
feel good today.
Oh, my goodness. Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the first reading of the dog control ordinance 2024-0227, repealing all other. An ordinance repealing any ordinances, amended ordinances, resolutions, or portions thereof concerning the licensing and control of dogs in Moffett County, Colorado.
First reading.
First reading. I said first
Yeah,
reading at the
you did.
very beginning. Yep.
Second.
Donald wanted me to talk, so I kept talking.
Second.
Motion a second. And so I believe there actually is, just for clarification, there is what we are wanting to
Yeah,
replace,
it-
right? There
that's
is
on
in
the
there. So
website
we'll
now.
make sure that is clear. We already have it in place.
And it actually, Aaron, do you leave the board packets up until you post the next board packet?
Well, and there's also a section on our webpage where, like, 3 months running, we have
Both
packets.
Great.
Okay. perfect.
Maybe we'll put the exact link on social media so that people can go in and read it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senor. All right, Human Resource Department, Rachel Bauer, to present employment offer for Veteran Services Officer position.
So I would like to recommend to request to fill our open Veteran Service Officer position. Per hiring committee and interviews conducted on January 17th, it was recommended to offer this position to Ronald Eplin. This position is currently budgeted for 2024. His qualifications, he's currently a Veteran Service Officer, and he is a retired U.S. Army captain. He has a Silver Star, Bronze Star, Purple Heart, and ARMCOM. So we would like for a recommendation for that position.
And you guys did multiple interviews, right?
That is correct.
Well, really is.
I'll make a motion to present appointment offer for Veteran Services position to Ronald Eplin.
Eplin. That is correct.
Second.
Motion in the second to offer employment to the Veteran Service Officer position, Ronald Eplin. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Department of Human Services, Kristen Grajeda. Put all these on the same one. Request a waiving of bid process for core services program mental health services contract and approve amendment to core service program mental health services contract with I don't know, how you said that?
Carla Perchetti.
Perchetti.
I probably pronounced that wrong as well.
Yeah, I wasn't even trying. All right, go ahead. Requesting the waiving the bid process first.
Yes, so currently, as most contracts, our current contract is set at the 25,000. Unfortunately, we can't always predict the number of families that are going to need services while having involvement with our agency. We are currently already exceeding the $25,000, and so we're requesting for an additional 25,000. That should get us through the remainder of our federal fiscal year. This program, it's a mental health contract, and so through our core services program, that is reimbursed by the state at 100%. So typically, the county doesn't have any expenses related to that. And a reason for it being important to request this bid for the waiver is for us to consider putting these families with another provider that could delay their progress and having to start all over, building a relationship and or trust with a mental health provider. And it could just not be a good effect for them. And so we're requesting for that bid process to be waived. And then with that, we have the addendum for the core services mental health program or mental health contract to be approved.
The other thing I would add on that too is we don't always have a large pool of people that we can contract with for those services in our area. We're sometimes limited.
Sure.
Mr. Chair, I would move to waive the bid process for core services program mental health services contract. And can I do it in the same motion? Or no, I'll do that. I'll stop.
Yeah, I think. Second. Motion to request the waiving of the bid process for core services. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the addendum to the Core Services Program Mental Health Services Contract. Perchetti with K Perchetti. It adds 25,000 to that contract, not to exceed 50,000.
Second.
Motion in a second. Quick question, is that, when is the federal fiscal year?
It ends June
June
30th.
30th. That's what I
Mhm.
thought. So hopefully this will get you through to that point.
We hope. If not, I'll be back.
And luckily it's reimbursed, right? It's a needed deal and it's reimbursed.
Yep, it's all state allocated.
Yep.
I would say we probably, and we've had a little bit of discussion on this, but need to look at our process for DHS specifically in our contracts. I know there's a process in finance all the way through our county that keeps things in check and everybody's staying on top of it, but it's not always one size fits all. And so we're looking at how how we could set a policy that would fit DHS that fits within our fiscal responsibility, but doesn't tie her hands as far as things that are reimbursed from the state as well.
For sure. I agree.
All right.
All right, all in favor?
Right?
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for all you do. All right, last but not least. Office of Development Services, Neil Binder. For the partial retainage pay on the courthouse to BHI.
Good morning. So this is more of just a transparency issue of bringing this to everybody's attention. We are looking to try to finalize a lot of what was done on this project. There's a few small things that need to be finalized. So we're trying to hold back a little bit of that money to hold BHI accountable for getting all of these things finished. But with that being said, there's multiple contractors that are local that need to be paid their retainage because of their scope of this project has been finalized. So we're asking to go ahead and approve the $470,780.68 as a payment from the retainage and withhold 50,000 for a final payment later down the road when we've signed off on all of the issues that need to be rectified. Do you want me to go into detail on what we're?
No, I don't think. I mean, maybe just for the record's purpose, maybe you could explain retainage, maybe to people that
Sure.
maybe don't
So
understand.
retainage is held basically to keep contractors honest, right? At the end of the day, we've got a percentage that's withheld from the total project. So we can make sure that all of the processes are completed before we have a final payment. And that is deemed on the owner of that building of when that gets paid. They have to feel comfortable that all of the processes have been completed and accept the quality of work. So that's what the retainage is for.
And each contractor suffered with that. So they
Yep.
might get a payment, but their retainage is hauled out too, just to
Correct.
make sure everything's legit. And so
Correct.
this we're still
And-
keeping 50,000, but
A lot of this work was all exterior work that this retainage pertains to. So all of that work has been done.
thank you.
I think just important to note too, we didn't get a new building. We retrofit an old building. So some of the challenges that we've had, even though we thought everything was up and running, have just been figuring out what the difference is between
Yeah,
how it was set up before, how it's set up now. And
yeah, you're trying to make a lot of things work with an old system and you're always gonna have bumps along the way.
For sure.
You just try to smooth them out as best you possibly can and get to a final goal.
Yep.
So. And we're getting there. Got a lot of answers for the questions we had, so I think my office feels confident that we're getting to that point.
Yeah.
Of finalizing everything.
Okay.
I knew.
I knew. We are having a standoff. Mr. Chair, I would move to release partial retainage pay on courthouse to BHI in the amount of $470,780.68.
Second.
Motion in the second. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Next scheduled Board of County Commissioner meeting will be held Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, right here in the chambers at 8:30. Thank you. Meeting's adjourned.